Praying over this gospel reading reminded me a couple of years ago, I got a call from from a parishioner who said that his aged mother was only a couple of hours away from passing on, and asked me to come and administer the sacraments. And the whole family was gathered, and the kids, the grandkids, the nieces, the nephews, the house was full of people there to pray with this old lady. And I went there and I prayed with them, and I anointed her and prayed the commendation of the dying, and we wrapped up and we said amen. And then she got up and she started putting snacks together and digging through her purse. Ah, she hung out for another 3 weeks. Oh, sisters and brothers, they say the sacraments doesn't work. The sacraments, the sacraments work. And of course, it reminds me of Peter's mother-in-law, how Jesus approached and grasped her by the hand and helped her up, and then the fever left her, and she waited on him. And on response, the whole town of Capernaum, they brought to him all who were ill or possessed by demons. The whole town was gathered at the door. Folks came and brought people to Jesus. People let themselves be brought to Jesus. We hear St. Paul tell us that if he preaches the gospel, there's no reason for him to boast, And indeed, my sisters and brothers, if we preach the gospel, it's no reason for us to boast. Because in our baptism, in our confirmation, an obligation has been imposed on us to preach the gospel, and woe to us if we do not preach it. But there's an old saying, You can't give what you don't have. Oh, my sisters and brothers, yeah, we should be out there preaching the gospel with our words. But what are we doing when we're preaching the gospel? Is we're bringing people to Jesus. And sometimes, sisters and brothers, that means letting ourselves be brought to Jesus. Because we can't give what we don't have. And even Peter's mother-in-law. Oh, gee, I wish St. Mark gave us a name, Even Peter's mother-in-law got up upon receiving this healing and served. And that, in its own way, is proclaiming the gospel. But even more than that, in opening herself to Jesus' healing, is proclaiming the gospel. Oh, my sisters and brothers, it's easy to witness the gospel when times are good, when we're feeling victorious, when we're comfortable. But we're also called to witness the gospel when our life on earth seems like a drudgery. And even enduring that drudgery, sisters and brothers, can be a witness to the gospel. When we seem to have been assigned months of misery, when we face troubled nights that have been allotted to us, even then, especially then, we witness the good news. We allow ourselves to be brought to Jesus. And doing so, we bring others to Jesus, who heals the brokenhearted, who binds up all their wounds. It sounds easy, right? Of course not. As a reminder, sisters and brothers, of course, we're in our final year of our National Eucharistic Revival, and Bishop Johnston has asked us preachers, well, told us preachers, on the first Sundays of the month, which is, by the way, this Sunday, to preach about the Eucharist. So how do we learn, sisters and brothers, how to witness the gospel when it's hard, to witness the gospel when we face drudgery and misery, and even by that drudgery and misery, experience the good news, being open ourselves to Jesus, bring others to Jesus. And of course, I'm sure you've realized this by now, is the Holy Eucharist. Oh, as a reminder, sisters and brothers, we have 4 of our youngsters receiving First Holy Communion next week. And what an exciting time, not only for them, but for us to bring them closer to Jesus. You know, St. Thomas Aquinas taught that the common spiritual good of the whole church is contained substantially in the sacrament itself of the Eucharist. Woe to us, sisters and brothers, if we do not preach the gospel. Sure, when we're on top, and sure, when we're struggling. We are called to seek out Jesus and to bring others to Jesus, proclaiming the gospel, huh? Simon, soon to be called Simon Peter, huh? After Jesus went out to go pray in a deserted place, Simon and those who were with him sought Jesus out and told him, everyone is looking for you. Yeah, you better believe it. Because everyone, sisters and brothers, is looking for Jesus, whether they know it or not. Everyone is looking for Jesus, whether we know it or not. As we approach this table, this altar, sisters and brothers, let us recognize that in consuming the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Christ, we are meant to be emboldened to seek out Jesus and to bring others to him. Praise be Jesus Christ.
Now and forever.